Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Dinks with Kinks. I am your host, John Ondero, and with me tonight, as always, the very hypnotic, the very trance-inducing state of Mr. Shep.
I knew it. Good evening, everyone.
We all knew it was coming.
We did know it was coming.
I mean,
but
with that outfit, yeah. I mean, what? Sorry, we're back.
Yeah. And for a woman who no one ever sees coming, but we wish we all could, Miss Rebecca.
Yeah.
Hello.
I gotta get props for that intro, right?
Yeah, that was pretty slick. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm impressed now.
Solid 9 out of 10.
Still slightly
I like
mind-numbing, but yes.
I like it.
You control the flow very well.
Before we get into tonight's episode, I want to remind everyone to follow us on that social media at Dinks with Kinks on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And now we have our own live stream where you can see our wonderful faces every week. Friday night at 10 p.m.
Hey!
Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/The Dondero. Woo! How you guys doing tonight?
Woo! Good. It's Friday. Saturday.
It is.
Whatever day this is.
Well, it comes out on Saturday, but we recorded on
Doing
Friday.
wonderful. And yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, I've been pretty mindful lately, trying to take good control of my life. We got a fun kink to talk about.
Really?
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 The most fun kink.
Really?
Yeah.
No, really? Did you do that? Did you just do that? I can't.
I coasted it in with my very hypnotic voice. There's nothing hypnotic about my voice, but we're here tonight to talk about mind control as a fetish. And you guys ever heard of this kink before?
No, not as a kink.
Yeah.
Like we both are like,
This
not as a kink now.
I mean,
This
I'll
is
give
actually
you a hypnotic voice, and she'll give you a hypnotic view, but never the hypnotic mind as a fetish.
Yeah, absolutely. This is actually quite a popular one, and has been around for quite some time. This is
The dawn of time.
The dawn of time. No, I think this is very much a media-driven fetish. So I would say it's only been around since modern times, or at least been as popular as it is since modern times. But I like this one because, in its very base form, I am typically not a fan of CNC, consensual non-consent. This is the one time that I am 100% on board for it because it is the most campy, fun version of consensual non-consent that both parties have to be on because it's absolutely 100% role play.
It is role play.
It is. And it's not even violent role play. It's very campy. But again, it very much falls under the category of CNC, consensual non-consent, which most people don't realize when you talk about something like that. And I'm like, this is it. This is that loophole that I'm like, all right, I'm about it.
There's always loopholes, John. There's always loopholes.
If there's sex, there's a way.
Yes. Well,
Well.
Okay. Okay. Well,
If
within
there's
limits.
Fruit Loops, there's fruits and loopholes.
Loopholes.
Always.
No, this kink is focuses primarily on, and not just limited to, but hypnosis as a method of control. And so I guess you have to really ask yourself at this point: are you a type of person who believes that people can be made to do things in a hypnotic state? Now,
I believe you can put yourself in a meditative state. I think that there are things about the mind that is beautiful and that we haven't discovered. I think that there are things that you can do with your mind. I'm not quite sure hypnosis completely as in what the popular culture believes it is, but I think that you can get into a deep meditative state. Yes. But that's just me.
What about you, Mr. Shep? Are you a person who believes in hypnosis? And this is not a judgment. This is just personal opinion.
Right. And I'm very open to the concepts of it. It's just I've not so much consciously, but just always been a very stay in control of my mind and so on type person. And so maybe some mind types are susceptible and can be driven by such things, but I just don't think my mind would be one of them. So I'm on the fence.
I have a
You're on the
question.
fence. Yes,
I have a question.
I'll allow
What
it.
about? Oh, okay. Because I hope so. Subspace or dom space, is that a type of hypnosis or meditative state? Because I know, like, because it is sort of like I don't know. I feel like that's
I
I
would.
would
you know what I
say
mean.
Oh, sorry. You go ahead first. Sorry.
I would say yes. Well, I would say it's more of a almost trance-like state. I wouldn't say almost hypnotic because when I think of hypnotic, I think of somebody has put you into the wheel of suggestibility and therefore,
Mm,
canceling out. You're not so much in a trance of your own doing, but a trance of somebody else's. As well as I think subspace is something that, even though it may be caused by a partner, is something that you allow to yourself, if that makes sense.
I
That's just
feel
my
that's
personal
untrue
opinion.
though. I
Okay.
feel like you have to be open to the suggestion of hypnosis or be open to the suggestion of the meditative state. I think you have to put your mind in that state. So I feel like that they're the same thing, just with a different name, and how you get there is just different. But that's my opinion. I feel like because they all are in that deep that like hypnosis is you're listening to somebody talk over and over and over, and you're putting your mind and you're relaxing your body and putting it into that suggestive state. Same with meditation, and same with subspace. I think you get to that point where your brain literally just goes, I'm giving up that control.
Mm. I can
Oh,
agree with that. Yeah. I can, to be honest, I've never experienced subspace. Yeah, personally, like I have witnessed it being experienced, but I have not personally experienced it because I've never
Oh,
been
it's
dominated.
so good. It's
So
especially when you're in when your brain's like whirly twirly and overthinking, or you're very like you're used to taking, like when you go into subspace, it's that just it's almost like that floating weightless sensation. That's the way it is for
hmm,
me, which is why I feel like that they're the same. I think that they're the same for me because it's just very much a your whole brain and your body just goes and relaxes.
hmm, okay.
Anyway, mind
yeah.
control.
And as far as subspace goes, back to that question, I think it is more just a meditative state or trance, specifically speaking to subspace. But again,
Yeah.
it's a personal opinion.
All right. Back to mind control. This is more of an extreme version of that. Like this is more or
Sorry.
less, think of, your Saturday morning cartoons back, or the great Houdini puts you under
Hmm.
his spell and hypnotizes you and makes you act out things to his command or their command, not necessarily him. Um, and like I said, I don't believe that any, and this is again personal opinion, so don't at me at this. You can at the other two, but don't at me. Um, I don't believe that anybody can be made to do something they don't consent to with hypnosis alone. That being said, if you are a willing participant of this activity, that in fact means that you are in fact a willing participant playing along to the fantasy that this is happening.
But I also think that if you are participating in mind control, that this is also one that you have also are with somebody who or you should be with somebody and have already discussed your boundaries and what are hard no's and what are your limits and et cetera and so forth. So you trust them. So, you know,
Yeah,
yes, you consent to it, but you consent to it under the understanding that they already know sort of where your limits are.
agree.
Yes.
Yeah,
And much like with, some of the other very specific fetishes and such, this one is definitely not one that really just anyone can just jump into or experience, because you do need to have some kind of, I would say, or I would expect that you have to have a background in the hypnosis and those kind of abilities and such.
absolutely. And this is this is a fun one because it is imagination gone wild, and I love that.
Yeah, and it's almost like and you can almost say it's almost like the a deeper version of dom and sub, where the sub is just giving up literally every bit of control because you're giving them total control over your mind. And another name for it would be like the erotic hypnosis. So it is definitely not necessarily for the therapeutic or entertainment style. It is literally that, what I might think would be the final door of control that you could just step in through, because that's total control. You're telling them what to do and they'll just subconsciously do it. Choice is
Absolutely.
gone when you're under hypnosis.
This is 100% full submission. And I think as we talked in like the discipline episode when we talked about like giving full power over letting somebody control every aspect of who you are and being. But I believe this is one of those which instead of like your full lifespan,
Mm,
more so very temporary windows. Like instead of like
right.
I am in control of your life all the time, I am in control for your ass until I snap my fingers. And so it is very much a play back. You okay?
Well, yes, I was
Tickle.
breathing
There
and
was a tickle.
coughing, and then you said, you said, I'm in control of your ass until I snap my fingers. I'm like, really? Like
I said,
that?
did I say ass?
I thought you did.
I wonder how
I
many
like
people
that.
have comical fun with this one though. I'm just like, oh yeah, we're gonna put you under hypnosis and we're gonna do some really naughty things, but then
You're going to cluck like a chicken.
but then the person under control says, "Clean my house." Yeah. Oh, we did naughty stuff. It was awful, but look at my house. It's nice and clean though.
Actually, all the you know how I like to do my thorough research and look up porn of any kink that we have. I go find porn for it because like I said, that's what gets people off. So I want to see what that is. Every bit of hypnosis and mind control porn I can find is so much campy fun. It looks just like it is 100% like this is the most fun kink ever because it is 100% role play. It is crazy fun, and yeah, sometimes they make you do silly shit like hit yourself in the face with a pie, or go pie this person. It's very Three Stooges to aggressive sexual acts. But it's not even aggressive sexual acts in the thing that I am going to do something against your will. I'm like, okay, I command you to be an ass slut. And the way the porn portrays it is before I would never do anal, and then under hypnosis, I now love anal. It's the greatest thing in the world, and that kind of play, where that person really didn't hate anal before,
Or
and
Oh
oh yeah.
no, I'm stuck.
oh no,
Oh no.
Step bro, come get me. I'm stuck. Oh no.
No.
But
Or
I think this is probably one of. I mean, you have to laugh. Like where sex is fun, where kink is fun. Like we have a lot of these kinks that are very serious, but this is one of those ones that you can be as fun and playful and as hardcore as you want to be. And I think that that's one of those, broad kinks that's fun. Like, you can do it's part of the multi-purpose kit of kink,
yeah.
that type of thing.
Well, like I said, I'm not a fan of consensual non-consent, but this is so much campy fun. You're just like, okay, I'm on board with this because it's not going to have that coercion. It's not violent coercion. It's not threat of painful death. It's camp. It is 100% campy fun, and it's silly.
Yeah.
And you know me, if it's silly and it's sexual, I am all about it. I think silly may be a kink for me because I want to do silly, sexy shit.
That's fun.
And
I love it.
I was just thinking of how much money you can save if you're proficient at this one too. Because you can literally put in these hypnotic suggestions that the person is bound, is tied in rope, and their body is frozen, and their mind is seeing the bondage stuff, but you don't actually have any bondage gear. But in their mind, they're in bondage.
Oh my god, that's great.
Or in their mind, they are secured and stuff. So I'm like, wow, you really don't need toys or anything. You just put it in their head. Wow, this is I'm getting turned on to this.
See?
Yeah.
If you like campy fun, if you like saving money, get into the hypnosis mind control
you
kink.
like saving-
You heard it
Saving
here
money.
Oh shit, this is the economical kink.
This is where it's at. No, this kink is somebody who has watched too many Saturday morning cartoons or serials back in the day, or just love that whole style of just like I want to think like 1960s style, like because that was when everyone was like, you're gonna hypnotize us and we're gonna be under your control style like content, and I'm like, yes, 100% yes.
Or in Rebecca's case, someone who really enjoys primal. She can be turned into a primal animal. In that mindset and just really go the next level of primal.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just a cute kitten.
Okay, fine. Or you can be hypnotized and then they throw a ball of yarn on the floor that, here, kitty, kitty.
Here, kitty, kitty.
And you go attack the yarn ball.
You know what? I have never done pet play, but I think I could do that. That would be fun.
This is absolutely
Write
a
that down. Make a note of that.
Okay, yeah.
This is a kink that I think has endless possibilities. Everything from like guilt-free pleasure, like okay, let's say you've always wanted to be you're a sub, but you kind of want to try a little dom work, but you don't know you have the confidence to it. But if you're told to, if you're under quote unquote mind control, it does liberate a little bit of those inhibitions, because you are no longer, you can suspend yourself into the belief of, I am not doming. I am subbing by doing exactly what I'm told and doming. Like, it's a great way to almost falsify confidence, because they say because I was looking into hypnosis, like people who quit smoking and stuff like that lose weight through hypnosis. Hypnosis is a way to trick your mind into having the confidence it needs to do what it needs to do. It is like that type of science where it's like, it's not so much putting you in a suggestive state, it's tricking your mind into believing something that it can't. So maybe, building added confidence into, something that you would not normally do. If you can alleviate the fact that you're not the one doing it, alleviate you of the self-consciousness behind it, stuff like that.
So is it like a deeper form of role play or another form of role play?
I think that,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Now I'm sure people who believe in this kink wouldn't see it that way, but yeah, I'm going to say my opinion. Don't at me at the other two. My opinion
You can at
is,
me. I'll take it. I can take it.
Now I'm
my
feeling
opinion
like
is that this
Morpheus
is.
from the Matrix. Free your kink. Open your mind.
Open your
Ooh.
mind.
But I suggest you guys go look up sexual hypnosis, like mind control. It's actually some fun watches, like not even in a sexual manner. Just they're fun and they're very
Is it
enjoyable.
like
Even the ones that
splashing?
get
Is it
Oh
fun like
my.
it's
splashing?
fun. It's fun like splashing. Um, there is even some splashing with hypnosis. This kink really does encompass and alleviate, I think, so many other kinks because of just how deep of a level of role play this is. And yeah, I do
Mm,
believe it is very much heavy driven in role play because, like I said, both parties have to be on board.
right.
There has to be a level of suspension, suspension of belief. I believe that this is going to happen, so I have to role play that this is going to happen. So I would say this is not so much role play, but as it's suspension of belief. Like you suspend your beliefs in the air and go, I believe this could work.
Just don't go
Really,
as far as I believe I can fly, and don't try.
mm-mm.
You might fall.
Do you believe you can touch the sky?
I
You think
believe
about
I
it
can
every night.
fly. I believe I can touch the
And on that note,
sky.
we should definitely cover some of
Think about it
the
every
safety
night and
measures of
day.
this.
Yes, I
Because
think
I'm
safety is important with this one, especially when you're dealing with anything mind control. I think my biggest concern with this, as somebody like, I think that's why I said earlier, you need to do some, practice this with somebody who knows your boundaries. Um, is because this is something that yes, you consent to, but if you do this with a partner who doesn't know you and you don't wholly trust, I feel like this could sort of hit different, especially since the mind thing. It physical wounds heal, mental wounds scar, and I think that that's something that with this, like you, when you are not in control, so to say, that that could lead to maybe some situations that they could put you in that you don't want to be put in. And I think that that's the biggest I would feel for me, be the little drawback, is I'd be like, I don't know, you know.
Well, I mean, with any type of play like this and role play, communication is key beforehand.
Right.
Being able to walk through, and I wouldn't try this on your first playthrough. This is not something you go, all right, I met you on Tinder, let's play hypnosis, let's go. Now, if you're meeting two people who are already into this kink, I'm sure you guys have built a list of what I'm willing to do and what I'm willing not to do. And those are pretty important because I always talk to people when I'm trying to get to know them sexually. I'm like, give me a list of your hard no's before you give me a list of your yeses. And it's not because I want to focus on the negative. I just want to know what's off the table, so I never cross that line.
Right.
And I would say it could be both, not only I guess, an added safety measure for the receiver, but also that could be something exciting to do as a follow-up after the fact. Don't be afraid to ask for a recording of said session. If if during the hypnosis you're just really not in control and you may not remember some of this stuff, I mean, how cool would it be to see yourself secondhand doing these things and like, I did that? Wow, I did do that.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
experience it by actually watching yourself. Oh wow, I really did that. Okay. I think it'd be a cool
Oh,
idea, and also like a
And a
safety
confidence
measure.
booster.
Yes.
Yeah,
hmm
a safety measure and a confidence booster. You're like, well, yeah. The maybe the person that you're doing it with can push you to your limits or even push you through some of those things that you want to do but have been afraid to. And I think that it can also be one of those confidence fun things. Yeah.
hmm Absolutely. All in all, I think And like I said, this is all believe how far you believe into this kind of culture and whatnot. I think this is just a fun one. Like I said, communication always key, but I think go nuts. Find somebody who's into this and have as much fun as you possibly can with it. So yeah, would you guys do this? Would this be something that you would participate in for your partner, or do either hypnotize them or be hypnotized and placed under control? You are under my control. You are getting sleepy.
Yes, I think I would with the right person. I think for me to be complete. Sorry. Oh, hold on.
No coughing,
I've got
sneezing,
something in my
or
throat.
interruptions
I
allowed.
know. It's like,
that was me. I was in your mind.
Sorry.
That was me in your mind.
I think with the right person. I'm always in my head, so I think that for me to surrender at that level, even physically as a sub, like to surrender, you still have somewhat of your faculties about you. But I think this type of play, I think I would do it. It's fun. It sounds fun. I'd like to hypnotize somebody. I would be, but with the right person, I think would be fun.
I could only do it if I could be Mind Talk, the Mind Taker from Harvey Birdman. Mind Talk. What about you, Mr. Shep? Would this be
John? Would you hypnotize me? I feel it would be fun. I feel like you would make me do fun stuff.
Oh, I would. I would hypnotize you, and we would go bowling.
Yay! Why would I have to be hypnotized for that? I wouldn't do that.
Because I'd make you left-hand bowl. I would convince you that you were a left-handed bowler, so I could win.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if it would be possible. I mean, I'd be open to this situation. I would love to learn to be able to do it, to actually give. That'd be a really cool skill to have under your belt. But on the receiving end, since even during my experimental years and such, mind-altering chemicals really couldn't alter my mind. I don't know how this would be. But I mean, this would definitely be something I would be open to for sure.
I'm gonna learn hypnosis, and then I'm gonna hypnotize you. That would be the greatest thing I ever accomplished in my entire life. Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
All right, guys. Are you guys ready to spin the wheel?
Yeah.
Let me share it with you so you guys can see it.
Oh yeah, you gotta make us watch again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on. I always have to figure out how to watch it.
You just have to touch it.
Just click the live button right next to my name in Discord.
Touch it.
There's no live.
Pro tip: double click the user to watch.
Watch stream.
Okay. I can't see anything. Just do it.
All right.
Just do it. You know what? I want it to be a surprise. It's like the gender reveal of a baby. Let it surprise me.
Wow.
I like the surprise. I like the puns. I miss the puns.
All right. Well, I'm going to give you some puns. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh no, it's going to be pun raising.
Listen. My body is in fact a temple.
Is it body worship? Is it cock worship?
It is. It is.
Body
Body
worship.
worship. My body is a temple. May you worship it.
She was quick on that one, huh?
She was.
I mean, that may be on my list.
I do like this one. Body worship, I think, is very fun, and we're going to cover all parts of the body.
Oh, it's so good.
Worship all over, so.
All over.
All right, well.
All over.
That has been our episode. I want to thank everyone for listening. Guys, reach out to us. Talk to us. Tell us what you think. If this is your kink, come tell us what your opinions of it are. Tell us more. Give us... We've had so many people reach out to us and tell us, like, oh, you covered my kink. This is what you missed, or this is what you should have talked about. And we want to know. We genuinely want to know, did we do a good job, or what did we not cover that should be covered? Because That's how we learn, and that's why we started this podcast, is so we could literally learn every kink we could, because these aren't our kinks. These are kinks that we pull from random and then we learn about. So if this is your kink and we covered it, reach out to us. Tell us how we did or what we missed. Just let me talk to you. Just tell me about your kinks. I want to know. Straight from the horse's mouth. Oh, no, not gonna sing it. Not getting into another song. I've already sung.
want it all,
fine.
but I want it now.
All right, guys. Reminder: follow us on that social media at Dinks with Kinks on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We now have a new live stream that comes out every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. Twitch.tv/The Dondera. The link is below in the description. Come chat with us live. You get to see our faces. 2 of the 3 of us are very pretty, and then there's me. And it's glorious.
You're pretty.
Oh, I'm handsome.
We all know that they only show up for you and Shep.
Do they know? Yeah. You're wearing a shirt like that, and you're like, you really think they're showing up for me and Shep? Okay.
They can't see the audio podcast, so they don't know what shirt I'm wearing.
But if you tune into the live stream, you'll see that Rebecca is gorgeous, and you won't be there for us anymore.
Shut up.
I am your host, John Dondera, and with me, as always, the very worshipful Miss Rebecca.
Oh, I got to go first this time.
You did.
Good evening, everyone.
And a man who attained enlightenment in the first 3 hours of his life, Mr. Shep.
Till next time.
Oh, that giggle.
I know. I love making him giggle with those last ones. Good night, everybody.